What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Jabcast. I am Ben, and you can finally see me now if you're watching. Alongside me are Jared and Alec in that order. How are you guys doing?
Great.
All right. I'm tired.
I am living the dream.
As always.
Alec, I heard you have some news for us.
Yes, I do have some news for you guys. Well, it's more of a question, and I kind of wanted to do it on here because I thought you'd appreciate it. Well, as many of our followers know, I am engaged to Emma, who is my fiance, and she's going nuts planning this wedding. So I am wondering if you two beautiful humans will be in my wedding party.
Oh man.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes. Sweet. Now I have 3 people to her 200. But yeah, you guys have been doing the show. Me and Ben started the show actually 4 years ago now. This month, a little bit earlier this month, I think November 12th was the birthday of Alec and Ben in the morning at night. And then Jared had to come along and ruin that.
Ruin everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we just became the Jabcast. It's been awesome to hang out with you guys at least once a week.
Yeah.
For the last 3 years. It's great. So I figured you guys have to be there.
I'm honored.
It's an honor, man.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah. Just wanted to throw that in there to warm up the show quick.
Yeah.
And then
man.
look how red Ben is. Now that people can see him, he's blushing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But good. I'm happy you guys are willing to hop in this and do this with me.
Yeah.
Be a part
Absolutely.
of this awesome day.
Oh man.
But yeah, have no fear. It will be in Pennsylvania, so you don't have to.
Oh, okay.
Don't have to come all the way to Florida.
I mean, I would have done it.
I know you
want
would
to go to Florida anyway, so
it's gonna be in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
But all right, let's hop right into movies. Get back to our normal show after that.
Well, I was thinking I would have to fly to Florida, but I guess I'll just have to drive to somewhere in PA. And that's also our movie of today. Thank you. Yeah.
Good
So
segue,
Ben gave us, thought so. Thank you. Ben gave us Drive. This is the Ryan Gosling thriller drama from 2011, directed by, Ben, you're going to have to help me with his name. Nicholas
Winding Refn.
Yeah. Nicholas Winding Refn.
Yeah, you got it.
All right, there we go. It's got a good cast. Ryan Gosling as Driver, doesn't have a name. Carey Mulligan as Irene, Bryan Cranston as Shannon, Albert Brooks as Bernie Rose, Christina Hendricks as Blanche, Oscar Isaac as Standard. We've also got Ron Perlman as Nino, and then a bunch of other lesser known people. Little plot synopsis here. An action drama about a mysterious Hollywood stuntman and mechanic who moonlights as a getaway driver and finds himself in trouble when he helps out his neighbor. That pretty obviously that's going to describe the plot really well there. He barely talks probably the entire movie. It feels like he's very quiet. It's a very nuanced performance from Ryan Gosling, but I think it's one of his best. It's really great. It's also violent a lot of times too. Definitely feels like a thriller more than a drama at some points. The cast is great. I just named all of them already, but yeah, really, really good. And I just love the overall aesthetic of the movie. The sound and the music that goes with it kind of goes with Ryan Gosling's somber attitude and everything going in. Yeah, I think this movie is actually really special. One of his best performances, Ryan Gosling. Alec, I'll throw it over to you. Ben, you can close out our thoughts.
Yeah, I did like this movie a lot. think it would have been better casting if they did Ryan Reynolds, but
Dude, come on.
no, I just like throwing that jab right at both of you. I know it just grinds your gears and it's funny. No, he played a very good character. He was very good in this movie. At times there were times where I was like, I thought the audio in my TV just like dropped out. I don't know why, but it just seemed like an overall quiet movie, but a lot of the music and a lot of the sound effects and things that were going on definitely helped move the movie along other than like the actual dialogue. I think the audio was probably my favorite part of the whole movie.
Yep.
But overall, very good movie. It was a little hard to get into, a little slow for me at points.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I definitely feel like this is a movie that you got to give more than one watch.
Oh yeah.
So just going off of one watch, it's good. I like it, but I definitely think to give a better fair shake on this movie, I'd have to watch it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. Ben, what about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of my favorite movies ever. My thoughts are pretty similar to yours. Soundtrack obviously is a huge draw. It's like techno, a lot of like really like lo-fi, kind of not even really EDM, just like techno pop. It was made in 2011 and it fits the aesthetic, and like the film quality is like a little grainy, you know what I mean? I feel like it's like that rough around the edges feel, which is really nice. Cinematography is great. A few scenes that like come to my mind is the elevator fight scene where Driver kills the guy in the elevator, and then the scene where he's outside of Nino's restaurant with the mask on and it just shows him. Really cool. I think it had a really good plot. Usually these like heist gone wrong movies kind of all fall down like the same like funnel, but this one kept it interesting. Driver also wasn't like invincible. He was kind of just like a normal guy. He did kind of beat up on some old guys too, which was a little imbalanced, but Bryan Cranston, he was really great. He wasn't in the movie for very long, but he was kind of like Driver's like mentor, and his death was really sad. Performances were great, like Jared said. Just an all-around really good movie. I'm not a car guy. I'm not a heist guy. I don't know. That's all I could really say there. But this movie kind of like appealed to me.
Are you
really
a killer?
I can't say that legally.
Okay.
You're gonna have to infer. I feel like I just admitted to killing people. I didn't actually kill anybody, but the way I said that made it sound like just a really good movie. All around. I suggested it for a reason, so I'm glad we were able to watch it.
Yeah, it's good. It's a great one. All right, so usually we would jump into a genre discussion right now, but I wanted to get the random thought at the end of today because I think I have a good one. So Alex said it was only fair, and it is, that he gets the movie discussion. So I'm gonna throw it to you, Alec. Go ahead.
Yeah. So instead of genre discussion, because there are only so many genres that we could talk about, I decided to just throw this random question style, very Alec of me, you know.
Yeah.
But I want to throw this question in there and ask you guys if you could bring any actor or actress who passed away back for an interview to discuss 5 of their movies, who would you want it to be and what movies would you bring back? Would you talk about? I know for me, it's Robin Williams, hands down. I'm bringing him back to talk about Miss Doubtfire, Aladdin, Good Morning Vietnam, The Birdcage, and World's Greatest Dad. Those are all movies that I would want to talk to him about. Particularly because they all are completely different from one another, whereas but yet somehow still tied together. Whereas Mrs. Doubtfire is very family oriented, and he's trying to take care of his kids, but there's a lot of real life things that constantly go on in everybody's daily lives around the world. These events like that he's going through divorce and broken and separate families, people will go through that stuff every day all over the place, and it's tough. And this movie, I think, does a good job of tackling those type of situations. Aladdin is probably my favorite animated Disney movie, just because of how funny it is. Good Morning Vietnam, it tackles war pretty much. And it kind of makes it a little more lighthearted, but still shows the heaviness that can come with wars and being in a war zone. The Birdcage, I think, is just a classic movie. So I just want to talk to him about that one, just because. No real meaning behind that one. And then World's Greatest Dad. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that one.
Yeah.
That is probably one of his heaviest, darkest movies. So I really want to talk to him about what went into that movie and what kind of methods did he have to take, because this definitely is not a comedy movie. Even though when I first saw it, Netflix had it categorized as one, and I think it was just because Robin Williams was in it. But this is definitely a different movie, and I want to know what kind of approaches he took to this, because it's nowhere near what people would think of when they hear Robin Williams.
Yeah.
So I'll let you guys talk about your actor or actress and the movies and why.
All right. Ben, you mind if I take it?
Oh, you man.
So I picked Philip Seymour Hoffman. I think he's one of the best actors. It's weird to say one of the best like dead actors, I guess, but in recent memory, he seems like the biggest one that's passed, up there with Robin Williams for sure. So he's got a huge what was that, filmography. There's so many to choose from, so it's really hard for me. I would say this, I'm probably cheating here, but I'm going to say the Mockingjay or the Hunger Games series, just because he was in a few of those, but they're the same story. And that's because he never really gravitated towards franchise stuff. And this is later in his career. Actually, he died during the filming of one of them. So yeah, I want to, because he's such like a prestigious actor, I wanted to get his take on doing like an intellectual property movie, something that already been established. Next one's Moneyball. He acted alongside Jonah Hill and Brad Pitt, who are in my top 5 actors ever. And it's just a really great movie in general. It's one of those movies that transcends being a sports movie and just becomes something of its own, which I think is really, really good. He did a great job. He didn't have a huge part, didn't make a huge of an impression, but that's a really, really great movie, and he did a great job in it. So I just like to hear his experiences from set on that. Next is Mission Impossible 3. That's another franchise thing. But this was at a time when Mission Impossible wasn't doing so hot. The first one, if you look at Rotten Tomatoes, the first one was rotten. The second one was more rotten. And then this one comes back. I believe it's fresh. It's universally recognized as the best of the first 3. And he plays a fantastic villain, like Bond level villain. That's how much of an impression he leaves. He's so great. It really shows like his strength at being the powerful, conniving mastermind, really. So yeah, I'd love to hear about that. And that's kind of a divergence from him too, just being like a big action movie, even if he wasn't in the action itself. Next up is Boogie Nights. This movie was such a shock to me watching it. It's just so well written, well directed. It's from Paul Thomas Anderson. The cast is huge. It's like it follows Mark Wahlberg as like a new porn star in the porn industry as he like descends into the dark side of the industry. How just gross and terrible it can be. Again, he wasn't in it all that much. He was kind of a character on the outside, but completely different from something you've seen him in before. So he really left his mark again, and it's just it's such a paramount movie to me. I would love to hear about his experience, especially working with Paul Thomas Anderson, such a fantastic director and writer. And finally here, this is more along the same lines as Moneyball, the same reasoning here. It's called The Talented Mr. Ripley. That's with Jude Law, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Matt Damon. And same type of thing there. I just wanted, it's such a great cast, and it's under a great director. I just wanted to hear his experience being on a movie of that size. Yeah, that's mine. Rest in peace, P. Hoff.
Moneyball
Yeah.
is probably one of my favorite baseball movies ever. So
Yeah, it's one of my favorite baseball movies ever, and I've seen far
probably
fewer
your
than you.
only baseball movie.
No, I've seen 42 and The Sandlot and what's the one with Rob Schneider?
Oh, bench warmers.
Bench warmers.
That's a funny one.
Yeah. All right, Ben.
Ben, take it away.
So I was gonna say Chadwick Boseman for mine,
Mm.
but I don't know if I've seen 5 movies that Chadwick Boseman has starred in. So I decided to go with John Wayne because I'm a huge fan of westerns. So 3 like tried and true westerns that I would want to talk to him about is El Dorado, True Grit, and The Shootist. These are movies that I've seen quite a few times, and I've heard a lot about like spaghetti westerns, but I've never heard actors talk about like filming spaghetti westerns, because that was like way before people did like behind the scenes like production shoots and interviews and stuff like that. So to like hear him, like the biggest, like most famous western actor of all time, talk about his experience filming these movies would be really interesting to me. I also want to hear him talk about The Quiet Man, which is a movie, one of my favorite movies of his. It's not a western. He plays a boxer who accidentally kills his opponent in the ring and kind of like goes on the run. It's a really unique movie. He's really good in it. It's really emotional. A lot more like romance aspects and elements in it than his westerns. I just want to get a feel for like how he was able to flip like back and forth between like westerns and that mindset, because he I think this came out in like the early 50s, so it's kind of like in between a lot of his western movies. It's a really great movie and he's really good in it as well. And then my first western, as well as my favorite western, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. This came out in the early 60s, and it's one of my favorite westerns. Like I said, he's really good in this. This is the first western movie I saw that like messed around with non-linear storytelling. It like jumps back and past, there's flashbacks and stuff like that, and he's really good across the duration of the film. Yeah, he's a really unique actor. He kind of fell into the trap of playing the same character in every movie, but I would still like to talk to him about how he was able to get in that mindset and film those movies. So yeah, that was mine.
Rock and roll. I was surprised you said John Wayne.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that from you.
I mean,
I was like looking up.
Go ahead.
It's like it's a little like morbid, but I was looking up like dead actors, and I was like,
Yeah.
I know these people. I don't know if I've seen many movies that they've been in, so I just went with good old John Wayne. This is gonna sound really bad, but I was kind of upset that Clint Eastwood isn't dead because I wanted to talk about his movies.
Oh my.
God, that guy's old. I just watched
every
this new one.
time I see that video of some dude who's like, oh, actors we might lose in the next 10 years. I'm like, yo, I don't even want to watch this or talk about it. Like, it
like
just
also
makes me sad.
That's like fucked up to make a video like that.
I know. It's annoying.
Just keep in mind these people could die soon.
I know. It's annoying. And it's also like, it makes me sad because we grew up watching all of these guys' movies.
Yeah.
But like, I know you said Chadwick Boseman, but like a lot of the things that he like stars in outside of Marvel, to me, seem very much of like he played a black figure of power, like Jackie Robinson, James Brown, Marshall Thurgood Marshall. Marshall was the name of the movie. That's why I said Marshall first.
Yeah.
But like those seem to be the kind of movies that he was in a lot of. I didn't see a whole lot. I know I saw Draft Day, which was Kevin Costner, I believe. And Chadwick Boseman was a minor character in that one. I really want to see 21 Bridges, because that would probably be my first non-Marvel movie where Chadwick Boseman is the lead character and he's not a historical African-American figure. You know what I mean? Because I've only really seen him as Black Panther and Jackie Robinson, James Brown, and Thurgood Marshall. I mean, I really don't like, even not to say that he was pigeonholed into that, but like John Wayne and Clint Eastwood all getting pigeonholed as like Western guys. I hate when that happens to actors, because I know that's not what they necessarily want to do. But I know I also know a lot of actors will just take jobs to get into the industry. Not to say that's what they did, but some people will do that, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't like when Hollywood pigeonholes people.
Yeah.
I think like some of these actors like maybe want to be like pigeonholed. Maybe they like find like they
They
like
find their
filming a
niche.
certain kind of movie. Yeah. They find that they're most successful. There are several actors that have like I guess like Will Ferrell is an example. He's like a funny actor, and
Yeah.
every movie that he's been in that's like not a comedy like hasn't really done so well. It could be like poor writing or whatever, but most of the time it boils down to people they can't see Will Ferrell as anything else than like a funny guy, like a comedian. So people kind of like find success. And he likes being funny. It's not like he's like upset because he can't be like a serious guy.
Yeah, I'm not assuming Chadwick Boseman
Yeah.
like doing those roles. I'm sure he felt honored that he was the one chosen or who got the opportunity to represent these big figures. But I don't know. I like to see actors do everything, you know.
Yeah.
Like I like now that we watched Loki and what was that? What was the movie we watched like 2 weeks ago? The Harder They Fall, the Western movie. When watching those, I started realizing that I've seen a lot more Jonathan Majors than I thought. And he does literally everything. I like actors that can do whatever. You know, I just think I like versatile actors. They're cool. But
Absolutely.
yeah, that's all I have to say about that. But let's head into TV, because I know Jared is itching to talk about this show.
Yeah. So yeah, I chose Metal Shop Masters for us for this week. And the reason I did that is because I was obsessed with a similar show also from Netflix called Blown Away, which was a competitive reality show all about glass blowing. And the best glass blower is the one that wins. There's 2 seasons of that. I ran through all of it. It was fantastic. And the reason I liked it is just because of how weird the contestants are. They're larger than life cartoon characters, but they exist in our world. It makes no sense. It's just hysterical. So I was expecting the same from this show, and I was very much disappointed. They're still weird people, but they're not entertaining as weird, I guess. They're just strange. This is also much shorter than that one. There were 6 or 7 competitors for this? I think there's 6 episodes. So 7 competitors, I guess.
Yeah, I believe so.
And the first episode, 2 people completely broke the rules and had to restart their projects.
Yeah.
The one project they weren't allowed to bring in prefabricated parts for metal. So that means anything that was already manufactured in some way, gears, hinges, anything like that. And you could cut all the pieces yourself at home in your home shop. You bring them into this first challenge, and then you have to weld everything there. Well, this one girl thought weld everything meant everything, like the entire piece. So she welded things together into like 3 or 4 giant pieces so that she could weld it all together like that right there. And they're like, you can't do that. That's in the rules. So she had to break it apart, put it back together. And then the other girl brought in gears that she found dumpster diving, and she wasn't allowed to use that. So she had to completely skip that and use other parts. And then that same girl, your piece for the first one, it had to be an avatar that described you. It had to represent you. Yeah, and there had to be one piece of motion on it, one piece of movement, they said. And the reason I emphasize that is because the girl she had to scrap her idea. I think it was a similar situation or similar theme, but she had to change it a little bit. It was a Black Power fist going up like that. And on the the palm opened, right? And there was like a little slip of paper inside that said like hope or something like that. So it was like a teeny tiny hinge like that big. And I'll never forget what she said. It was so funny to me. She goes, they're like, yeah, we just could have used a little more movement right there. She goes, I think the piece is a movement itself.
Yeah.
And I went, no.
I was like, that's not the movement they were talking
Yeah.
about.
She got sent home first
Yeah.
episode.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was not nearly as entertaining as Blown Away. I was really disappointed with the finale because the guy that I thought would win took a creative artistic choice in the final challenge and lost it because he couldn't finish his vision or whatever. But the guy that won did deserve it. But enough about what I think. Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm not a welder. I have no idea like what welding is supposed to be or look like, but
Yeah.
I thought this was pretty entertaining. I agree with Jared that, well, I haven't seen Blown Away, but I agree with Jared that this was not like a great production. It seemed very like thrown together, like technically,
Yeah. Yes.
and very like low budget, which is weird for like a Netflix original series. You usually put like a lot of time into these. This was Netflix original, right?
Yeah.
And I know like they're probably not expecting like millions of people to watch this, but like at least like I don't know, take a little more pride in your productions. But I just like to see people weld. I mean, it's interesting enough. I love these like competition shows where they like have like experts in their field like rush against the clock. So I mean it was enjoyable. I never felt like bored watching it. But the funniest part to me is I was telling Jared I went onto IMDb just to read like user reviews, and everyone that reviewed this show is like a professional welder, and they're just ripping these people apart, saying that like the hosts aren't good, the judges like are idiots. This one guy said that the producers and so-called hosts are unprofessional idiots. It's just funny. I mean, it's a show about welding, and these people are like they like get off of their welding job and go home and watch a welding show on Netflix.
Yeah.
I could do
They're
that better.
Finally, some
welded that joint better.
representation. Finally. Oh, what is this horse shit?
But imagine being a welder and you like work hard all day and like weld, and then you go home and see these people like welding like for fun and doing a bad job at it.
Yeah.
You must feel so disrespected.
And they're gonna win some money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was mad that guy didn't win either.
Yeah. I forget his
That's
name.
just baffling. But yeah, I mean it was okay. It was interesting. Nice to branch out and watch stuff I wouldn't normally. So
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I'd change it up. It was much different than what we're usually on. Alec, what about you, my man?
I liked this show for it being a Netflix competition show about with people doing something that I have no idea how to do.
Yeah.
It was cool to kind of just see like a background of what welding stuff looks like. But I feel like if you want to know just kind of what welding looks like and what welding is in a semi-competitive state, which it never is in real life, you could probably just watch the first episode and you could be good.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna lie, some of the episodes I was on my phone the whole time because I fell out of it. It got boring.
There were several points where I just got on my phone just waiting for the decision at the end, just to see what they made at the end and then to see who goes home. Yeah.
And I feel like I get that way with a lot of competition shows, I think, unless it's something a little more different every time.
Yeah.
Kind of like competition shows like the Lego one. Obviously they're building Legos every time.
Yeah.
But it's a little more creative and outside of the box. I think they're always like they're just welding, they're constantly welding's the same thing pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, and a lot of people probably will say putting Legos together is the same thing every time, but I don't know. To me, the welding doesn't seem all that great. It seems like they're doing this. It's very repetitive. And I also have been looking at the reviews, and people are literally like, "This is so weird. This is terrible." One person's review says, "Meh."
Alec, you bring up a good point, and I think the reason why I thought this while I was watching, and I think the reason why some of the stuff they're making was boring or the process was boring is because working with metal, I think probably takes so much longer than a lot of other things. Because you got to get it up to a really high heat, and then once you're done, you have to like let it cool before you work on other stuff. And glasswork's the same way, but you can do other parts with that. And I think a lot of times metal, you kind of have to wait, like sitting and waiting a lot.
I also didn't really like how I didn't like Joe Coy as the host. I love Joe Coy as a comedian. I think he's very funny.
Yeah.
He seemed off, and he didn't, and the host and the judges didn't seem like they really liked Joe Coy. Like they were like both there together.
No, yeah, I agree.
Like a very uncomfortable dynamic between them.
He did not fit. It should have been like Bert Kreischer or someone from that group.
I don't know. Even I feel like it should have been somebody even like someone even like more rugged. What's his name? The guy who does Dirty Jobs. He, I think, made a good host.
Mike Rowe.
Yeah, Mike Rowe.
Yeah, that would have been good.
I think he would have made a much better host than Joe Coy. I don't know what it is with.
He didn't fit the aesthetic at all.
What, Mike Rowe?
No, Joe Coy.
Joe Coy. Yeah. I feel I feel like it's happening more and more lately. They just try to get a big name person.
Yeah.
Whether it's a comedian to kind of like ease the tension, throw a few one-liners in there, and
and that's what it is. They did the same with Blown Away. I forget Nick Uhas. He was a member of Big Brother, cast member. I don't know what you call it. A Big Brother for a while. And then they put him on here. He's got like the most punchable face in the universe. He makes the most unfunny jokes, but I don't know. Another part that really, really cracked me up from Metal Shop Masters was I think it was the second challenge where they had to make the grills, and
that was
the hillbilly guy and that girl right at the get-go. So they had to make a grill stylized after something you'd make on a grill, so like a burger or fish or something like that. Most people chose fish, and I forget the guy's name. No, you got to make the thing that goes on the grill. She goes, no, you have to make it look like a thing. She goes, no, you got to.
Yeah, they were just arguing the whole time.
Yeah, and it ended up turning into like the worst thing that was made in that entire show, because she wanted to. The amount of time she said banana leaf wrapped whatever.
Salmon or something.
Salmon. Yeah. The amount of times I heard her say banana wrapped, I wanted to like blow my brains out.
It looked like they just put a grill in a big.
They did. It
was terrible.
She took like a metal briefcase that was green, didn't do anything to it. She tied some metal like wire on the outside to look like twine. And then they put the grill grate on the inside, and the guy spent the entire time. She did all that. And then he spent the entire rest of the time making a metal fish to put inside.
And the back, the tail fin was the spatula. It slid out.
Yeah, and that was really cool.
That was cool.
Actually really cool.
I would have. So many of them did that.
Yeah, I would have loved just the fish with the spatula. Like that was really great, but it just had nothing to do with the challenge whatsoever.
Nope. I loved that all of them went back to their group and were like, all right, everyone's gonna make a burger, so let's make fish. Every single group did that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, maybe we should just take the easy way and make a burger and then be done. Nope, everyone making fish. And then the one dude makes a fish grill that could fit one fish.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh God.
That was terrible. That was ridiculous. Get it making one fish. But anyway, what are we watching next week, Jerry?
Yeah. Well, we were gonna watch something else, but I just checked the outline, and I think it's a good suggestion, so we're gonna go with it. We're gonna do Forged in Fire. It's not a Netflix original, but it is from Netflix. It's in a similar vein of what we just watched. but it's more forging things in general, not metal sheet work. It's like making daggers, knives, things of that nature, which is really, I think, what I expected this show to be. Not metal. This is metal sculpting, and forged in fire, I guess, is smithing would be the difference between them. So yeah, this is a good idea. I am seeing there are 8 seasons of this. So how did we want to do
there
this?
are.
Yeah.
Oh, I only saw because when I pulled it up, I saw 1 season.
Where'd you pull it up, on Netflix?
Yeah, I'm on Netflix right now.
Maybe there's
only
season.
one of the seasons on Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah, that works.
It's 37 episodes.
Oh, never mind.
I'm confused.
Why don't we just watch like 10 and see where we stand after that?
Oh, these are kind of long episodes though, too.
Yeah, they are. There's 37.
Yeah.
Wow.
You want to go back to the other one?
That's up to you guys.
Because it's kind of weird talking about because this is a competition show.
Yeah.
I feel weird talking about that. Like
Back to back.
Not even a third of the way through.
Yeah, we can do whatever.
All right.
All right, we'll flip back. And I mean, the only other thing I could think of is if you want to keep this, because unfortunately to all of our listeners, we may be taking a small break due to conflicts with all 3 of us having school for Ben, and me and Jared have work. So we may be taking a week off, and yeah, we also have Thanksgiving coming up. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like if we wanted to stick with this, with our small break coming up, we probably would be able to work it, but that's up to you guys.
I know I start mandatory overtime at the end of this coming week. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to pull this.
All right, we'll roll to the shorter one.
All right. So
roll it back.
Scrap that. We're gonna watch Hitmonkey. We're watching Hitmonkey. It's over on Hulu. It's the final Marvel Television distributed TV show. So everything else is Marvel Studios through Disney. This is Marvel Television. And it follows a monkey from Japan. I forget what kind of monkey. They're the ones that chill in the springs. They got the white hair. They like sit in the hot springs. One of those monkeys, his entire tribe gets murdered by the same people that kill this guy named Bryce, who's voiced by Jason Sudeikis. And he is mysteriously resurrected as a ghost, and he's bound to Hitmonkey, and he has to follow him around and help him get revenge on the people that killed his tribe and that killed Bryce. So yeah, it's looks to be kind of like a Japanese revenge Western, that type of thing. So I think it looks pretty great. A lot of fun. So yeah, we'll next time you hear from us, we'll be talking about Hitmonkey. But for now, Ben, take us into music.
Where he's going to talk about Dance Monkey.
Yeah.
No. Oh my God.
I just gave him a headache.
So yeah, as we always do, we're going to jump right into our albums discussion and trading. I actually have a lot to say about these albums this week. Jared gave us Silk Sonic An Evening with Silk Sonic by Silk Sonic, the group made up of Anderson .Paak, Bruno Mars, and an instrumental group. And Alec gave us Macon by Jason Aldean. So I'm just gonna give my brief thoughts on both albums, and then, or I guess we'll talk about Silk Sonic first, and then I'll hand it off to Alec to get his thoughts. I was not a huge fan of this. Probably not a very popular opinion, but I think I guess I can respect the sound that they're trying to go for, and they're kind of trying to like revitalize an era of like R&B and soul, which I think is cool, but I just didn't like the way any of the songs panned out. I don't necessarily like Anderson .Paak or Bruno Mars either, so I think that kind of like played into it. Yeah, just it's an album I appreciate more than I actually like. I thought Smoking Out the Window was pretty good. I liked Skate as well. I think Skate was one of the singles they released leading up. It's fun, very high energy. I don't know. It just sounds like they're like copying music that has already been made. And that's kind of like what you have to do when you're like trying to like take a genre back to its roots. But I feel like they could have done it a little better, where it just didn't sound like they were taking like early Al Green songs and just making them more modern sounding. Yeah. I mean, I always do this. I said I gotta stop doing this, but I'm always super negative, and then I like have to reel it back. I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was that bad. I was just kind of bored listening to it. It's not very long, so I didn't have to like sit through it for that long. But yeah, not one of my favorites. Alec, what do you think?
Also not one of my favorites, but I did enjoy it. I like this a lot better than almost everything else I've listened to from Bruno Mars. But I think it's because I like Anderson .Paak a lot. So I think my low like of Bruno Mars and my high like of Anderson .Paak kind of brought it to the middle. It averaged out to a good medium.
Yeah.
There are some songs on here that I think I'll keep in my rotation, like a very Alec thing to do.
Yeah.
But I did really like the music behind all of it. I think Anderson .Paak is an incredible producer. I think all of the songs that he produces have great music and instrumentals. I just don't know about some of the lyrics in this album, and Bruno Mars in general. I feel like it's all very much the same kind of goal in most of his songs, is to be like, oh, I love you, R&B style songs. But I don't know, it felt good listening to, and it all felt a little bit different but the same and familiar.
Yeah.
But overall, not a bad album. If I had to give it a grade, I'd probably go with a B-.
Not bad.
We grading albums now?
Yeah, we'll grade them.
Oh God.
No. Ben's gonna be like the teacher that every kid wants to drop their class in the first 2 weeks because he gives like 4 pop quizzes and fails you for every single one of them.
No, I've both my parents are teachers, so for the longest time I just assumed that I would just go into education, and I'm convinced that I would be like the coolest teacher of all time. I would be so forgiving. I would be, you know what, guys, maybe we won't have class today.
You'd be like, you know what, it's a nice day out.
Because like
movie day.
We were all just like recent. Well, I'm still a college student. You guys were just recently, and like how much it sucks when you have like a terrible professor.
Yeah, I
like
do.
that. The professor's like 60% of like the class, of like your enjoyment from the class. So like if he sucks or she sucks, either one.
Yeah. Well, I had a terrible professor, which is why I ended up transferring and switching my major to mass communications.
I mean, you didn't really improve much on the communications professors.
I mean, we definitely did. None of them told us that we were going to suck in our profession.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's hard.
This professor told me I was going to make a horrible teacher.
Well, look at you now. Huh?
I know.
You got
now
your own
I have
podcast.
a podcast with 2 of the cutest guys in the world.
Oh man.
Did you email that professor yet? Tell him to suck your nuts. Look at me now.
Look at me. No, but kind of bring it back to music. Ben gave us Helplessness Blues.
Whoa, can I talk about my album?
No, your album stinks. No,
come on.
Go ahead. Tell us about your album, Jerry.
Well, I was just gonna say I agree with you guys. I thought it was pretty lukewarm. I hadn't listened to it when I gave it to you guys. Yeah, it wasn't bad. I liked it, but nothing stood out to me really except for Smoke Out the Window. I thought that one's really fun. That's the only one I've really gone back to replay. I mean, Leave the Door Open's good too, but that's already become old before the album even came out because it's been a single for almost a year. So Yeah.
Is it just me, or do Bruno Mars songs like peak really fast and then just fall off a cliff?
Yeah, no, that's right on the money. Well, that's kind of the nature of pop music.
I don't and that's why I don't think I listen to pop all that much, because they like peak real fast, and then once they hit that peak, they go straight down
Yeah,
because something else already is up there.
yeah, flavor of
It's
the
so
week.
fast. It's
Yep.
annoying. But Jared, let's move into the Rapunzel's album.
Oh man. We're talking about Ben's.
Yeah.
All right, you want to go first?
Sure. Ben gave us Helplessness Blues by Fleet Foxes. For me, I think this is the most Beatles sounding album that they've made. I don't know why, but to me, I mean, I always kind of felt like Fleet Foxes were kind of influenced by the Beatles, just like with their sound and their style. But I think this is the most Beatles sounding album that they've ever made. I don't know if I'm the only one who hears it, or if
No, I see
ears
what you mean
broken.
100%. Yeah.
But I loved it. It was a great album. I mean, I never had a bad thing to say about Fleet Foxes. I also just realized I've been calling them Fleeting Foxes the whole episode so far. They're Fleet Foxes. I liked it. It was a good album. Like I said, I've never heard an interview with them where if they've ever come out and said, yeah, the Beatles are a heavy influence. I also am assuming it's more than one person again, like I did with the Gorillaz. Ben, I don't know if it's more than one or not. But I did like it. Very, very Beatles sounding to me. I don't know how Jerry felt.
Yeah, no, that's actually funny. When I was listening to it, I just recently watched the McCartney 321 documentary on Hulu, when Rick Rubin breaks down the life and death of the Beatles as a band with Paul McCartney. So they go through the making of a lot of the music and everything. So I finished that up, and then I checked this album out, and the entire time I was listening to it, I was like, why does this sound familiar? Because I had never been a Beatles fan, so I never sought them out, and still don't really listen to them much. But just hearing the little things that they went over, like the foundational sound of the Beatles, was enough for me to listen to this and go, what is this? So there we go. Alec just connected the dots for me. So there we go. But yeah, I was a big fan of this. I had a lot of fun listening to it. This is kind of out of the realm of what I listen to, I guess, because I don't like the Beatles, so I've always kind of steered clear of that type of music, but this was a pleasant surprise. I'm looking at the track list right now. Montezuma is great. That's probably my favorite. Really sets the tone for the album. I mean, that and Helplessness Blues are both starred on Apple Music. Those are both great. I also like Battery Kinsey and Lorelei. Those are probably my next two. But yeah, I'll probably listen to this again. Oh, it's from 2011 too. Yeah, nice. Yeah, big fan.
Big fan.
Awesome.
Big fan.
I was not a big fan of this next album. Alec gave us Macon by Jason Aldean. Alec, I'm really sorry, man. I did try to listen to this. I think I just have like a natural aversion to country music. Yeah, this was bad. I really couldn't take much away from it. Not even like lyrics or anything. I just couldn't give him like any credit. It's very shallow country music. It's pretty much what if you've listened to any country song in the last like 10 years, it's probably exactly what you've heard lyrically and sonically. A lot of like heartbreak, a lot of like stuff about like your roots and stuff like that. The live tracks at the end, I think there were 5 of them.
Yep.
Actually weren't nearly as bad as the album.
Yeah, they were all from his most recent tour.
I think just like having like performing live gives you more like leeway to be more creative. I think they weren't that much different from the studio versions. I don't think I've ever listened to like most of them before, so I just straight up lied to you guys. But yeah, I guess like for the first time hearing some of these, like they weren't that bad. The studio songs, the first 10 songs were just pretty poor. I was not a fan of them. Probably some inherent bias because I just don't like country music, but I think also if I wasn't biased, I don't think I would like it either. So yeah, I don't know, Jared, what did you think?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Unfortunately, there were times where you guys remember that bit from Bo Burnham's special What, where he makes fun of country music. And
Yeah.
he's just talking about like the buzzwords and everything. I forget which song it was. I'm trying to look through the lyrics now. It might have been Small Town Small or Small. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, Small Town Small. First of all, I think 75% of these lines end with small. What does it say? Education in a small town, educated in a small town, taught the fear of Jesus in a small town, used to daydream in that small town. Another boring romantic, that's me. I'm like,
Jesus.
what? Yeah, it's this is the modern type of country that I don't like. It's the I guess stadium country is what that's called. I think he's got a good voice. I just like Ben said, I think the content of it is a little shallow. And I know not everything has to be deep or anything, but it just felt like it was this is metaphorical and not literal, but it just felt like it was playing the same, it was singing the same tune every time. It just felt like the same song restructured and reworded, but still essentially the same.
Yeah. This actually, I've listened to a lot of Jason Aldean albums, and I've listened to Jason Aldean for a while. And this is actually the closest to one of his first albums that he's ever made. Actually, the closest to his debut album that he's made in a long time, and the least stadium country album that I think has been released in recent years.
What?
Yeah, I've listened to some really people, I guess maybe it's just because you guys don't like a lot of country, but this one really isn't very stadium. I'll send you like the most stadium song I've ever heard for stadium country, and then I think that might help you realize this isn't quite as stadium, but I definitely think it is very generic country. I love my wife. I love my girl. I miss my truck. Yeah, it's very much.
I love my
grew
country.
up in a small town. Yeah, this is that kind of album. This album didn't make me. I like the album because I like country. If you like country, this is going to be a nice glass of water. You know what I mean? Like, it's nothing that you're going to write home about, but it's a solid album. I did like the live editions, but honestly, because this is a 2-part album, this really doesn't make me excited for the second part.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I was hoping, was that this would really get me amped up for the part 2 of this release, but it really doesn't, and I was a little upset about it. But yeah, I'll send you guys a big time stadium country song, and you can like, I don't know, maybe it's just because I've listened to so many different Jason Aldean that this really doesn't sound like his stadium country stuff or other really big stadium country stuff. But you know, it is what it is. But I am excited to listen to your album that you're going to give me, Ben. Honestly, I looked up the album art and I'm pretty excited to listen to it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. What do you think?
Yeah. So he's giving Ben. Why don't you tell everybody what you're handing out first?
Yeah, I'm giving the guys The House is Burning by Isaiah Rashad. Isaiah Rashad is a Top Dog member. He released the Sun's Tirade in like 2015 or 16, and then just like dropped off the grid for a few years. Sun's Tirade was really, really good. Really great first project. People have been clamoring for his return, so he came back earlier this year, I think, and released The House is Burning. There is a deluxe edition that just came out over the weekend, but I'm just gonna give you guys the original version. Yeah. So what do you guys think about the album art?
Yeah, let me pull it up.
I think it looks incredible. Honestly, it looks very different and unique. Obviously, it's a house on fire, but it also looks like it was drawn in crayon, which I think those albums, but it's still very detailed, even though it looks like it was drawn with crayons.
Yeah.
But it looks awesome, and it kind of really makes it a little hard to picture what this album will sound like, because that definitely makes sense, picturing what something sounds like.
Yeah. I'm always happy when I consider this like lo-fi art, if that makes sense. For album covers, at least. I like the ones that look like they're homemade, that maybe the guy drew it himself.
Yeah.
And I feel like this might connect to the fact that he took that hiatus because he had a child born not too long after his first album, and he wanted to focus on raising him because I believe he has autism or maybe Asperger's. So he really wanted to just focus on raising his child, which good for him. And now he's back. He's got this new album. So I think I have listened to this. I'm going to re-listen to it because I haven't touched it since it first came out. But yeah, I think it was kind of dedicated to his son and the new life he has as a father.
Yeah.
And you can see that from it being like a child's drawing. That's where I was going with that metaphor, and I realized I never connected it.
It's all good, man.
Yeah. One more dot to connect there.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I'm giving the guys 30 by Adele. This is her new album that she just released yesterday. It's called 30 because she was 30 when she started writing it. That's how the naming conventions of her albums go. There was 21 and she was 21, and I think the other one was 19 and 25. Is it 19, 21, 25?
Yes,
I believe so.
Yeah. So what do you guys think of the cover? There's really nothing to go off of here except to discern who wrote the album.
To me, it looks like she took the 25 album cover and just turned her head. Quite literally. It's just a side profile of Adele. I don't think I've heard the Easy on Me single that was released. Were there any other songs released as singles or just that one?
I think it was just that one.
All right. Well, it's only 12 songs, so it's an hour long. These are long songs. There's a 6-minute song on here. 2 of them, 3, 4 of them. 4 6-minute songs.
Wow. Yeah, I have not listened to this yet.
5 6-minute songs. Jesus, I can't count. 1,
5
2,
6-minute
3, 4,
songs.
5. Yeah, 5 6-minute songs.
Zooey mama.
Adele's got an amazing voice, though. She's incredible.
Yeah.
Even if you aren't a huge fan of Adele, it's hard not to be impressed with what she puts out. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's hard not to be impressed.
Ben, what about you?
Right. So the album cover is just Adele in profile. I think Adele is a tremendous vocalist. She's such a great singer. She has an amazing voice. I really, really loved Easy on Me. I thought that was great. Very emotional, powerful too. I'm really excited to listen to this. I've had it sitting in my library for, I guess, since it came out. Just haven't listened to it yet. I figured one of you guys would assign it because it was new. So yeah, really excited to listen to it. I'm not a huge Adele fan. I will admit that I haven't listened to like her stuff in the past, so I can't call myself a huge fan, but I love her voice. So this will actually be like my first like full project of hers that I've listened to. So very excited.
Very nice. All right. And here we go. We're getting into the final stage of our show, and I'm taking over random thoughts today. And I'm
Without
gonna go
talking about Alex's album.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, wait, what? Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, I'm giving you guys
Did you do it restart?
a strange case of ... by Hailstorm.
The strange case of what?
That's a strange case of ...
What's the strange case though?
Because
Because it can just be like whatever you want.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, that's this. I like this band a lot. And since you liked, since Jerry liked the Pretty Reckless a lot, not just for the album cover, but the actual sound as well. I figured this is a very similar band. And actually they're Philly based, so gotta represent.
Oh,
I think they're Pennsylvania, I know for sure. But they're great. I think this is the album I think I know the most songs off of, and I think you guys will like it.
they're from Red Lion.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's like 15 minutes from me.
Yeah. I
No
knew they're
way.
from Pennsylvania. And they played a lot in Philadelphia to get started. Like they were one of the local shots on a big radio station in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I'm looking at the album art. It's I know it's not like directly inspired by it, but it reminds me of the American Gothic painting with the two like old people just like standing there.
Yeah.
It's like demonic though. I guess you could call it the American demonic if you wanted to. It's like, do they have face paint, or are they the ones some of them look like they're made of metal and some of them looks like they're face paint. The two guys in the back look like they're reflective, but I don't think they are.
Yeah, it's a weird cover. But
yeah, it's cool though. I like it. I could put that up on my wall.
The lead singer, Lizzie Hale, has such an incredible voice as well. I think you guys are really gonna like it.
I probably heard them. I vaguely remember my parents talking about this band.
Yeah. I think you guys will enjoy this one, especially since Jared liked the Pretty Reckless. I don't remember if Ben, you listened to that album or not, but I still think you guys will enjoy this.
All right.
So now we can get into your random thought.
Sorry, I'm very tired.
Yeah.
All right. Now after I made that big intro, you can just copy and paste it in your brain back to here. We're gonna talk about Muppets.
I love the Muppets.
This includes Sesame Street, and the reason I'm saying that is because I had this thought after I saw Simu Liu. He played Shang-Chi in the new Marvel movie. He'll be hosting Saturday Night Live tonight, actually. And he was just on Sesame Street. He got a selfie with Big Bird, and I saw he like tweeted about it, and I saw the tweet, and I was thinking how funny it is that spoiler alert for anyone at home, Big Bird isn't real, but
Whoa.
You could say to someone, I met Big Bird, and that actually is a big deal because you have to have connections to be in the same room as Big Bird, which is not a real person, which is just hilarious to me. And there are things that I see in the film industry, the entertainment industry, that are like things that prove that you made it, quote unquote. You're a star now. I consider hosting SNL to be one of them. And this popped into my head as another one, meeting a Muppet. If you're lucky enough to meet a Muppet, you're either like a child that's on the show
or at Sesame Place.
Yeah. Or you're a celebrity, which is just bizarre to me.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about it so much, and I started getting jealous. So now I'm thinking which Muppet I want to meet.
Wow. For me, it's Animal, 100%.
Animal?
Yeah.
That's so fitting.
Animal is
I could have guessed that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure y'all could have. But Animal is 100% the Muppet that I would go meet.
It's tough for me. I think Fozzie Bear would be. I think he and I could have a couple beers, have a good time.
Yeah.
He and Fozzie Bear, yeah. I like Fozzie. If I had to pick someone specifically from Sesame Street, I don't know. Big Bird's a cool guy. I probably would pick Big Bird if I did, like if I were a celebrity and they're like, hey man, you're going on Sesame Street. My agent, he's telling me this, but he goes, you get to pick like which skit, you get to pick who you guest star with on screen. I'd probably say Big Bird. Ben, what about you, man?
I'd say from the Muppets, I'd say Sam the Eagle. He's the big blue guy with the big eyebrows. And then I'd say from Sesame Street, I'd probably say Grover, the blue guy. Yeah, they seem fun, seem chill. Sam
Yeah.
the Eagle seems like he's very knowledgeable. He might try to steer conversations toward like politics. He does kind of seem like an older political guy. Grover is just a child, like a man child. I'd love to pick apart his brain. He thinks he's a superhero too. Remember
Yeah,
the Super Grover
Super
skits?
Grover.
Yeah, I'm looking it up
Yeah.
right now. I was about to bring that
and
up.
Monster at the end of the book.
Yeah, it would be. Oh
Super
my god,
Grover.
I forgot about that.
Wait,
Wow.
what was
I
it?
used to read
Monster
that
at
book
the end
all
of
the time.
Yeah, I had that one too.
Yep.
Oh my
the
God.
whole book
Oh!
is just Grover
Yeah.
saying, "Don't turn the page. Don't turn the
Yeah.
page. There's a monster." And
Who was the monster? He was the monster. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, I'm the monster." At the
How
end
does
of
he
the book.
talk again? I can't even hear his voice
It's
anymore
like
in my head.
it's very high pitched.
I don't think I could replicate it.
Grover talking. There's a voice I have in my head, but I don't want to do it at the chance that I'm wrong and I'm embarrassing myself. Oh no, that's about what I was thinking. I'm watching like a skit.
Yeah, it's pretty high pitched.
Yeah.
I think if I'm meeting anyone from Sesame Street, it's gonna be Bert and Ernie, or
Oh, that's a good one.
or Count Von Count.
I'm just scrolling down the Muppets fandom. There are probably well over 500 Muppets.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
There's 988 characters in the Muppets universe.
yeah, there's a lot.
How many Muppets are there?
There's somebody named Adolf Nureyev.
Okay.
Wonder what he's doing these days.
Who knows, man?
Probably
Afghan
sitting in
Hound.
storage.
Rabbi.
There's a rabbi?
Robot Abraham Lincoln. There's a rock. There's a character that's just a rock. Rock lobsters. That's the crustaceans. Yeah. I had no idea that the breadth of the Muppets universe had spread that far.
Well, isn't Yoda technically a Muppet? Like in the
check.
original, like when
Yoda Muppet. Yeah,
Yoda's technically a Muppet.
It's a very Muppet Christmas movie.
This says, fun fact, Yoda is not a Muppet.
While
the iconic Star Wars character is often performed by Frank Oz of Muppet fame, the original puppet was constructed by Stuart Freeborn for Lucasfilm. Jim Henson was a consultant during the creation.
I knew there was a Muppet connection.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what.
Yeah, like Jim Henson was involved.
Dude, I'm on the fandom right now. I'm on the wiki. Apparently there was a Muppet that there was a Yoda Muppet made, and he was in It's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas in 2002.
Oh,
and he transported the main cast to another dimension.
Wow.
But look at the background.
Did you guys ever watch the like the Muppet Treasure Island movie?
Muppet Treasure Island? I don't think so.
And a Muppet Christmas Carol. The Muppet remakes of like popular movies, I think, were incredible. Classic movies.
My personal favorite Muppet is Yolanda Cheese in parentheses. Yolanda, this is the entire wiki page. Yolanda is a dancing cheese who auditioned for the Muppet Show in episode 208 with Gonzo as Gonzalez and Yolando. Gonzo just clicked his heels a bit. The cheese did the fancy steps.
Is there a picture?
It's just Gonzo standing next to like a really inconspicuous piece of cheese.
Yolanda the dancing cheese with her partner Gonzalez.
When Kermit asks if Yolanda is a female cheese, and aghast Gonzo explains that of course she is a female cheese. Dancing with a male cheese would be weird.
Oh man,
it's worth mentioning that was in 1977 when they said that.
Yes, that's true. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I looked up. There's another Yolanda in the Muppets universe. That's one of the rats. Yeah. There's a rat and cheese named Yolanda. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man.
Crazy. Oh, I just kicked my desk.
How'd that feel?
Feels like it's time to say goodbye for the night.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I think so as well, especially if you're kicking your desk to get
Yeah,
out.
I hope I don't look like a zombie. I feel like a zombie.
I don't know. Well, if while I'm editing all of this, Jared, Ben, and I look like zombies, we may just forget to upload the YouTube video.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fair.
We'll see what our intern says. Our intern did a very poor job this past weekend. We may have to argue with. May have to.
We've
fight.
gone through. We've
Couple
gone through
of-
so many interns.
Has
I
any
know.
intern
Well, he has
lasted more than
job.
one episode?
All he has to do is upload everything on Monday when we release. But he couldn't do that. Our YouTube video went up Wednesday?
That's okay. It's all right. I think we'll give him a little time.
He just
We've been
started.
too harsh on interns in the past. Yeah.
He just started.
Yeah.
Turning a new.
And I mean, he did say he likes working for me and Jared. I almost forgot that.
All right. Yeah. That's fair.
Wow.
Oh man. Well,
Okay, gentlemen.
it's been a pleasure as always.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Goodbye, everybody. Listen to our next show. It'll be up on our Twitter. We'll make sure to warn you when it's coming out.
Yeah.
But listen to our next show where we'll be talking about Red Notice and Hit Monkey, along with all of the amazing albums that I give and Ben and Jared don't like. Thank you all for listening.
And our Thanksgiving episode.
Yes, we will likely be releasing a Thanksgiving episode on Thanksgiving, probably a short one similar to our Halloween episode. So thank you all for listening. Enjoy future shows. If you missed any past ones or watched what we watched, go back and listen to our discussion. Bye, everybody.